Let's talk about the story of Moses Sithole, one of South Africa's most notorious serial killers. In this video, we'll be looking at his early life and family, how he carried out his crimes, and how the authorities finally brought his deadly killing spree to an end. But before we dive into the story, please note that due to the limited availability of real footage and photographs related to this case, some of the visuals in this video have been AI generated and are used only to help illustrate the story. With that being said, let's now dive into the story. Moses Sithole was born on the 17th of November 1964 in Notorious, a township near Boksburg in Gauteng, South Africa. His early years were marked by instability and hardship. His father, Simon Sithole, died when he was just 5 years old. After his father's death, his mother, Sophie Sithole, struggled to take care of him and his 4 other siblings. When she could no longer cope with the struggle, she took Moses Sithole and his 4 siblings to a local police station, abandoned them there, and fled without any trace. The police saw the homeless children and took them to an orphanage, where Sithole would later say they suffered mistreatment and systematic abuse. The criminal history of Sithole did not begin with murder. It began years earlier when he was still a teenager, showing signs of violent sexual behavior. It is not officially known when Sithole took his first rape victim, but his first recorded incidence of rape occurred in September 1987, and it involved a 29-year-old Patricia Kumalo. Also, in February 1989, Sithole raped a lady named Vuyiswa Doris Swakamis. The lady proceeded to report the crime to the police, and Sithole was tracked and arrested. Sithole was later charged to court, tried, convicted, and sentenced to 6 years in Boksburg prison, marking his first formal encounter with the criminal justice system. For Sithole, the period of incarceration did not become a moment of accountability. Instead, it became a foundation of a grievance he will carry for the rest of his life. He repeatedly claimed that he was mistreated and unfairly sent to prison. Rather than saying his imprisonment as a result of his own actions, Sithole reframed himself as a victim of injustice. Sithole was released early in the year 1993 for good behavior, but there was no evidence that he ever received any meaningful rehabilitation or psychological treatment. What he carried with him instead was unresolved anger, resentment towards women, and the growing need to reassert control. By the early 1990s, South Africa was undergoing a major political and social transformation. Communities were strained by poverty, unemployment, and limited access to opportunities, particularly for young ladies. Sithole understood this environment well and explored it deliberately. In the year 1994, Sithole began what would later be known as like the ABC murders, named after the areas where the crimes occurred, which were Atteridgeville, Vicksburg, and Cleveland. These were places Sithole knew. They were areas where vulnerable women were actively seeking work and where police presence was limited. Sithole presented himself as a helpful figure, claiming to represent an organization called Youth Against Human Abuse. He promised job interviews, assistance, and opportunities. For many of the women he approached, these offers represented hope in a difficult economic reality. Sithole used that hope as his primary weapon. He did not rely on immediate force, but rather on deception, trust, and planning. From July 1994 onward, Sithole's actions shifted from deception to deadly execution, beginning as a series of seemingly isolated disappearances and quickly becoming one of the most feared serial murder sprees in South Africa's history. The first documented killing attributed to Sithole's murder spree took place on the 6th of July 1994, when 18-year-old Maria Munene Munama disappeared after responding to his promise of a job interview with his fake charity organization. Within weeks, Maria's body was recovered, which was a sign that something sinister was stalking vulnerable women in the region. The next month, precisely on the 6th of August 1994, another young lady, Amanda Ebufile Tete, aged 26, was found dead. Each of these early victims of Sithole had been drawn in by promises of work and opportunities that never existed. Over the following weeks, the pattern became tragically clear. On the 7th of September 1994, 24-year-old Yopilwe Amanda Mokale disappeared after meeting Sithole. And just 11 days later, 22-year-old Rose Ebotile Ogotsi will be found as another link in the growing chain of deaths. By December of 1994, investigators were beginning to realize that the killings were not just random crimes, but part of a disturbing pattern. And as the year came to an end, the list of victims continued to grow. In January 1995, 27-year-old Beauty Nuku Soko disappeared, followed by 25-year-old Sarah Matlakala Mokono in March. In the subsequent weeks, names like Nikiwe Diko and Letta Nomtandazo joined the tragic roster. Among them was 2-year-old Siposiso Nomtandazo, a toddler who died of exposure after Sithole inflicted a severe head wound on the toddler's mother and left them both in a remote area. As months progressed, names were added regularly to the list of known victims. 29-year-old Esther Moshibudi was killed on the 12th of May 1995. 21-year-old Granny Imakazo Pamela was killed on 23rd May 1995. 19-year-old Elizabeth Granny Matetsa was killed on the 25th of May 1995. 28-year-old Mildred Ntia was killed on the 30th of May 1995. 25-year-old Mansina Nomsa was killed on the 13th of June 1995, among several other identified victims. Several victims have remained unidentified till this day. By mid-1995, authorities were dealing with dozens of bodies discovered across ABC locations. The frequency of the murders and the number of his victims reflected Sithole's growing confidence and how effectively he exploited the vulnerabilities of his targets. As the list of Sithole's victims continued to grow, so too the public and media pressure on the police to identify and apprehend the perpetrator. By late 1995, more names and bodies continued to be added to the tally. As the number of victims grew, it became increasingly clear that Gauteng was facing a serial killer who was operating with method and intent. The bodies were left in clusters, while some were discovered in mass graves, such as one site near Boksburg, which held the bodies of 10 victims, some in advanced stages of decomposition, while some more recent. The case reached a level of national urgency rarely seen in South Africa at the time. The then President, Nelson Mandela, publicly addressed the killings, urging citizens to assist law enforcement and also reinforcing how seriously the country viewed the unfolding crisis. Public concern increased with the media coverage, and the local authorities sought external help from retired FBI profiler Robert Ressler, who arrived on the 23rd of September 1995. Ressler assisted with the development of a profile of the serial killer, indicating that an intelligent and organized individual with high sex drive was responsible, and perhaps with the assistance of a second killer. As the profiling was underway, investigations at the site revealed that one of the victims, named Amelia Rapodile, had last been seen before an appointment to see a man named Moses Sithole on 7th of September 1995. A job application form was found in which she was offered a position, and when a second victim showed a similar connection to Sithole, the police became confident that they had uncovered a likely suspect. However, they were still unable to locate Sithole, who continued with his killing spree, unfazed by the manhunt and media attention. On the 3rd of October 1995, the body of Agnes Mbuli was discovered near Benoni. That same day, Sithole, in an act of arrogance, made a call to a journalist of the Star newspaper and identified himself as a serial killer. During the conversation with the journalist, Sithole provided specific information about one of the victims and directed authorities to where to find the victim's body. The journalist informed the police about the call and Sithole's direction on a location. The police went to the location, found the exact victim described as Sithole, and were inclined to believe that it was indeed Sithole. An attempt by the police to set up a meeting with Sithole failed, and the police were forced to release Sithole's details to the media after discovering 3 other bodies. With the manhunt now in the public domain, Sithole tried to seek assistance from family members, but undercover police intercepted him on the 18th day of October 1995 in Johannesburg. When confronted, he resisted violently and even attacked a police officer. He was shot in the leg and stomach by a police officer, arrested, and taken to the hospital, where he was hospitalized, operated on, and transferred to the Sithole military hospital in Pretoria, where he admitted to numerous killings during an interview by detectives. He also denied ever having had an accomplice and believed that some copycat murders had been executed using his modus operandi. On the 23rd day of October 1995, Sithole was charged with 29 murders in the magistrate's court in Brakpan. On the 3rd day of November 1995, he was transferred to Boksburg prison, where he had served his rape sentence 2 years previously. Sithole's trial formally began on the 21st of October 1996, over a year after his arrest. The total charges brought against him increased from 29 to 38 murder counts, 40 rape counts, and 6 robbery counts. Sithole pleaded not guilty to all the charges brought against him. The prosecution introduced testimonies from Sithole's earliest rape victims, detailing their ordeals at the hands of Sithole before his first conviction for rape, followed by a detailed examination of his connection with each of the murdered victims, the testimony about the alleged job offers, and the specific techniques used to lure his victims. On the 3rd of December 1996, the prosecution introduced a video that had been shot during Sithole's initial incarceration, in which Sithole candidly admitted to 29 murders in the recorded video. Sithole said that he selected his victims for their resemblance to the rape victim Buyiswa Doris Swakamisa, who had reported him to the police some years back and was responsible for his false jail sentence. The defense case depended largely on Sithole's denial of any involvement in the killings. On the 4th of December 1997, more than a year after the trial had commenced, Moses Sithole was found guilty of all the charges brought against him, and he was duly convicted. Before reading out the sentence, the judge made a statement stating that, in view of the nature of the crimes committed by Sithole, he would have had no hesitation in pronouncing a death sentence on Sithole. However, since the death penalty in South Africa had been declared unconstitutional in 1995, Moses Sithole was sentenced to 2,410 years in prison, with no possibility of parole for at least 930 years. The judge structured this sentence in a way that ensures that Sithole will never be released again. Sithole was sent to the maximum security section of Pretoria Central Prison, the highest security cell block in South Africa, known as CMAX. As of the latest publicly available information, Moses Sithole is still alive and incarcerated in South Africa, serving his prison sentence to this day. He has never been released, and under the terms of his punishment, he will never return to the society. Thank you so much for watching to this point. Please do subscribe to this channel, and also kindly like, share, and leave a comment for us. Thank you once more, and until next time.